Hey everybody, my name is Phillip Shepard. I'm a local real estate agent located right here in Northwest Arkansas. And today we're talking about when I started looking to move anywhere I wanted to in America, literally I could have moved anywhere I wanted to, I chose Northwest Arkansas. And so today we're talking about what are those things that were very important to me and specific to Northwest Arkansas that other states, other cities, and other regions just don't have, and why I chose here versus the other places. So, let's talk about that. But before we begin, if you'd like and share this video with a friend or family, that would make the world of difference. I try to produce as much content as humanly possible about Northwest Arkansas, obviously. So and also liking and also sharing, just make sure that everyone can live, work, and play all in NWA. So thanks a lot, guys. I appreciate it. Also, if you haven't not been down to Northwest Arkansas quite yet, I made something called the NWA Starter Pack. It sounds exactly what it is. It's literally a starter pack, literally a box, full of all the cool things Northwest Arkansas. What's going on in downtown Bentonville? What's going on at the square in Fayetteville? What are the hospitals like? What are the schools like? What are all the cool things happening throughout the summer? It's literally a package, a box. I literally ship right to your home. If you want to enter your name below, address, where am I shipping this box to? It's literally all the cool things Northwest Arkansas, just right to your home. If you enter your address below, I'll make sure to get that package shipped to you right away. Also, side note, it does come with your first free mountain bike, so that's pretty cool, but I'm a little biased, so what are you gonna do? And. It is my favorite four-letter F word. Free! So enter your information below. I make sure they get the package shipped to you right away. All right, so this is kind of a little bit of a intro before we start talking about the reasons why I chose Northwest Arkansas over anywhere else in America. So I looked at Asheville, North Carolina. I looked at Huntsville, Alabama. I looked at part of the Appalachians. I looked at Colorado. I looked at Texas. I looked at Phoenix. I looked at Pacific Northwest. I looked at California, Idaho, Montana, the whole thing. The whole thing. So I looked at all these places and I ended up in Northwest Arkansas because of these next 6 reasons. There's a lot more than that, obviously, but these kind of encapitalize the whole shebang. Now, the thing about it was that a lot of other places have little bits and tidbits of other things here and there. Like obviously Huntsville, Alabama is definitely growing, but there's a couple things that are lacking that we'll talk about in this list. And then obviously Asheville is very touristy, but it's really cool up in the mountains, kind of interesting, but it's, you know, it's Asheville. And then parts of like Chattanooga, Tennessee, we have, you know, Golden and Golden, Colorado and Boulder and that area. It's very expensive. I can go through the whole list, but Northwest Arkansas kind of encapsulates all those different things, and it does a fantastic job at every single one of these specifically. And so that's why I chose Northwest Arkansas out of everywhere in America, because of these specific reasons. And the first reason we need to talk about, and this is actually a big factor, one of the biggest factors for Northwest Arkansas versus any other place in America, is the fact that there's 3 major companies here. There's also something called the Northwest Arkansas Council, as well as the university. It just doesn't exist to have such a powerhouse of environment for jobs, for economic growth, for actual goods moving through the area. I mean, we have Walmart, J.B. Hunt, Tyson. Walmart, consumer goods, obviously transportation, obviously. J.B. Hunt is also transportation, obviously. And then Tyson is obviously food production. And then on top of that, the Northwest Arkansas Council sits separately, just a separate entity. It's basically a lot of money that can be deployed and make initiatives be developed in Northwest Arkansas. So they have all initiatives to make sure that Northwest Arkansas is continuing to be the best place to live in America, obviously. They are a big part of that. And then the university is 30,000 students coming every single year, obviously school, education, football, sports, the whole thing. So that's a whole economic driver. So we have 5 huge economic drivers in this area. And then on top of that, it drives more small businesses, mid-sized businesses move here, headquarters move here, they see the development of the area. Those 5 core things really make it just overwhelmingly positive to make it such a good area to live, because there's so much area to live and they invest so much back into the community, which is very rare for a lot of big businesses. So number 2 of the reasons why I moved to Northwest Arkansas out of any other place in America was honestly part of the outdoor recreation. I like outdoor stuff. Obviously, trail systems, hiking, biking, running, swimming, kayaking, fishing, all the outdoor stuff. I'm not really into parasailing yet. I don't think I will be, but there's a big parasailing thing here. Also, rock climbing is massive here as well. But those are the things I like to do. And outdoor recreation is highly loved, focused, and encouraged here all in Northwest Arkansas. So the big, obviously the big 5, the big corporations, Walmart, J.B. Hunt, Tyson, the council, and the university all really are proponents for it. There's so many companies that have moved here because of the outdoor recreation. We have all the community groups that are focused around outdoor recreation. We have 500 miles of trails dedicated to outdoor recreation. We have, you know, rivers dedicated to outdoor recreation. We have lakes. There's so much outdoor recreation. So it's one of those things where obviously I was trapped indoors a lot of times in Illinois because of the wintertime. You just don't want to go out in negative 20-degree weather. That sounds god awful. So moving here just made it that I could be outdoors all year long. Like there's not a day that I'm like, it's too cold or too hot. It does get toasty in the summer and it does get a little chilly in the winter. But for me, totally fine. I can deal with like 30-degree temperatures. That's fine. I can deal with like at the highest point, usually in the summertime, like 93, that is very toasty in the middle of the day. Maybe I might go in this, you know, in a run in the summer, in the sunset or sunrise. But it's one of those things where that frame right there, totally fine for me. And so the nice thing is that outdoor recreation is fully embraced. Anyone you meet around here is definitely doing something outdoor recreation. So it's nice to be part of a community that really focuses on that. And the third reason why I moved to Northwest Arkansas out of anywhere in America is because it's so centrally located. You know, on top of that, a lot of places that you end up in America that are growing, it's gonna take so many hours to get to anything else. Like for here, if I want to go to Tulsa, it's an hour and a half. If I want to go to Kansas City, it's 3 hours tops. That's IKEA, a bunch of other stuff up there. If I want to go to Dallas, I can drive there in like 4.5 hours, 5 hours. And that might seem a little bit longer, but it's like, it's still, I mean, by the time you jump on an airport, which we will talk about, if you jump into an airport, fly there, you might as well just drive. It's like it's obviously, you know, get into the airport, get through security, you know, get out of security, fly, the whole thing. So you might as well drive to Dallas. So it's really easy just to get up in the morning, early morning, drive to Dallas, spend all day there. I wouldn't necessarily drive back, but maybe spend the, obviously a hotel there. But there are so many other places you can go to from Northwest Arkansas that you really couldn't do in other places in America. So that's one of the perks that I love living here is that, oh, if one of my favorite bands is going to Kansas City, oh, I'll just drive there. If one of my favorite bands is going to Dallas, oh, just drive there. You know, so it's not a big deal. And that's part of the reason with problem with Chicago is obviously a lot of bands went through there. But if they didn't go there, it was gonna be a problem because like, I'm not gonna drive to Indianapolis. That's a 7-hour drive. You know, I'm not gonna, there's nothing else around there. I mean, there's parts of Wisconsin, but that's one of the perks of living here is that there are so many other cities you can go to. You can go to Hot Springs, you can go to Little Rock, and eventually, if you really wanted to, you could drive to the ocean. Like, I think like, you can go to New Orleans like 10, 11 hours. So it's, I mean, that's a day drive, but still, it's like if you wanted to drive to New Orleans, go to the ocean, you got it. So that's one of the perks of living here is just the central located area. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Before we jump on to the next point, I have something brand new called Instant Home Updates. So maybe you're looking to move down to Northwest Arkansas and you're using things like Realtor.com, Zillow.com, and Redfin. Notifications, way too slow. Way too slow. You're missing homes left and right. It's crazy annoying. That's why I made something called Instant Home Updates, and it sounds exactly what it is. It's literally Instant Home Updates. So enter your information below, obviously name, square footage, bedrooms, bathrooms. What are you looking for? Where are you looking to move to in Northwest Arkansas? Enter that information below and I'll make sure you don't miss a single notification when it comes for homes for sale or for rent, all in Northwest Arkansas. Also, side note, I do have an email that comes out every single Friday, just kind of talking about all the cool things Northwest Arkansas. What's going on in downtown Bentonville? When is First Fridays? When is First Thursdays? What's going on in the amphitheater? What new businesses are moving here? What new HQs are moving here? What new investments are coming on? What's fun to do during the week here? If you enter your email below, just your name and email, I'll send that email out every single Friday, just kind of keeping you updated with all the cool things Northwest Arkansas. But side note, you will get a little fear of missing out, little FOMO, so to speak, but I promise you'll be the most informed person eventually when you make your way down to Northwest Arkansas. And the fourth reason why I moved to Northwest Arkansas versus other places in America is I knew of the big investments moving into the area. Undoubtedly, one of the next big focuses of America is Northwest Arkansas. There has been headquarters after headquarters after headquarters after developers after developers after developers after, you know, obviously startup companies, like things like hedge funds, portfolio managers, obviously investment groups, all moving to the area because they see the growth and development of this specific area. And so you have so many different franchises sometimes, you have so many different small businesses that are actually there are so many coffee shops that have grown here that have done wise with their money and grown exponentially and then just keep adding on more places because they can. The economic development has just been so well for them. Plus other shops as well. It's like if you own a small business here, you're gonna do just fine because there's so much economic development here. It's really small business driven. There are obviously franchises moving here, bigger corporations, but it does, at the bottom line, help so many small businesses duplicate themselves and actually add more business to themselves. So that's fascinating and cool. But definitely seeing the economic development, the investment into Northwest Arkansas was a big factor moving here. And the fifth reason why I moved to Northwest Arkansas and chose Northwest Arkansas out of anywhere in America was honestly the airport. So obviously XNA is growing. It is I would consider a decent, good size airport. It has, I think, one terminal. They are adding more terminals. They're adding more lanes. It is growing. But the nice thing that I found out about it was that I can kind of jump anywhere I want to in America just from this airport. And that was a little different than other places in America. Like Boulder, Colorado, I think they have an airport out there, but obviously you have to go to Denver. Huntsville had an airport, but it was a lot smaller and just didn't have the connecting flights and everything else. And there's other places I looked to, but it was just so far away. Whereas like XNA, I can go from here to Denver, to Dallas, to Florida, to California. I mean, I've done over like obviously nonstop flights to LAX, to Dallas, to Houston, to obviously Denver, to Chicago, to Indianapolis, out to East Coast. So there's a lot of places you can travel to New York. There's a lot of places you can travel to just from XNA. You drive 30 minutes tops. You park in the parking lot. You walk from there to the airport. You go through security. You can be in the parking lot on an airport, or on an airplane, of course, in about less than 30 minutes. Love it. And I can be out flying out to New York City if I wanted to at any point, nonstop, within just 30 minutes. So I love that. Whereas other competing airports in other cities in the area just didn't have that convenience. And so that was a big deal for me because I do enjoy traveling. I do like getting out and be able to do that at least. And so that was a big perk for me. And the sixth and final reason why I chose Northwest Arkansas out of anywhere else in America was because of the affordable housing. Now, obviously, when I first moved here, housing was still very affordable, and it still is very affordable now. Obviously, a lot of things have changed because of like inflation, pandemic, blah, 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 blah. But housing is still very affordable here. And so the nice thing is that if you want to get ahead in life, a lot of times people from California, other expensive areas of America, if you want to get ahead in life because you might be living in an apartment or that you just can't get ahead because it's so expensive and taxes are so high there, you can't afford it because of whatever reason, and the whole thing. You know your area better than I do. But it's one of those things that I moved from Chicago here is because my dollar just went farther. And it's so cool because it's such an economic development area, plus housing is so affordable here. You can get a new style house, like obviously new construction, or you can get an older style, you can get land, you can get a barn, there's a lot of options here in Northwest Arkansas. And that's one of the cool things is that there's such a good flavor for everyone here. And that's one of the perks I loved about it is that it's not a cookie cutter place for one person only. There are so many styles of people here. I love it. I love the diversity. I love seeing that people can live in a barn dough and then people can live in a $1 million home in downtown Bentonville. And then we can all go to downtown Bentonville Square and just hang out. We can go to downtown Fayetteville, just hang out. We can go to Lake Atalanta in downtown Rogers and just hang out. It's just all a big community, and there's so many different people from different walks of life that all come together and we just live here. And so based on that, with the affordable housing, just makes it such an easy choice moving here versus other parts of America. All right, that's all I have for you guys today. Again, if you are thinking about coming down to Northwest Arkansas, download my 3-day itinerary link below. Maybe you're a adventurer, maybe you're a sports person, maybe you're a foodie, maybe you're a sightseer, maybe you have kids, whatever it is, there's a 3-day itinerary link down below for you. So go ahead and download it, use it when you get down here. Also, when you do come down here, I can give you the $10 tour so I can kind of show you around the whole area. Plus, we can check out some homes for sale or for rent and see how far your dollar will go in Northwest Arkansas compared to where you're coming from. All right, guys, let's see you next one.